In this lesson, I'm going to talk you through how to build your automation for your lead magnet sequence. So far, I've got this landing page here that is all set up, ready to go. Notice there's no menu at the top. That's done deliberately because on a landing page, especially for a lead magnet, you really want to give them one exit point, which is to fill in this form here. So somebody would complete their details on that form. You next need to give them immediate gratification for what they've signed up for. So in this example, it's a very simple page that they land on when they filled the form in, and you can see it's a text-based page with some links to useful things on there as well, and it's something they can work through. Now, don't underestimate the power of text. You don't have to go to lengths to create videos and masterclasses and this, that, and the other. Sometimes a very simple text-based lead magnet is very good. People get a lot of value from it, a lot of tips and things like that. I know a very experienced copywriter that does lots of newsletter kind of challenges and things like that just purely by text. You know, pop some emojis in there if that's your thing, or some links, or make sure the text layout is good, and you can really get some engaging stuff. And in this example, right at the bottom, there's a link to book a call. So first thing is first, there is kind of always a need for a automated email sequence of some description when it comes to lead magnets, because even though we're going to land this person on this page here, they might not consume all of that in one sitting. They might get distracted, they might not complete it, they might have some other things on, they might not have realized how much time is involved. So actually sending that information to them by email, or even just a link back to this page by email, is an incredibly helpful thing for them. It's also useful for you because it drives more engagement in your lead magnet. So I would argue there's always a need for at least one automated kind of thing to happen on the back of an email. So here we are in the EzyCourse platform here. I'm in marketing and contacts, and I've gone into templates. Now, the first thing I would say is I would always recommend you give your email templates some sort of naming convention, because your template folder is going to become quite busy. And if you can make it easy to find the templates, to edit them or to add them to automation sequences, that's going to save a hell of a lot of time for you. So let me explain what I've done here. So LM stands for lead magnet. Setting calories is the name of the lead magnet, and 4 means it's the 4th email in the sequence. Okay. And when you plan out your emails, what is a really good thing to do in that document is also number them in terms of these are the order that they go in, but also next to each one, write down the day number that it goes out on as well. Day 0 is the day somebody signs up. Day 5 is 5 days later, that sort of thing. So here in my example here, if I, for example, search for calories, which is the name of the lead magnet, you can see I get to all the templates that contain that. If I want to look at, all of the lead magnet templates, I can see them all just by typing the characters LM. So I've already set up all these templates, and that's a good thing to do before you go and set the automation up. And in order to set the automation up, you need to go into automation workflows. That is the place that you need to go to. This is the section of EzyCourse that allows you to build all of your automation workflows. So I've got one that I've started up here already. You can see I've given it a name. So again, following through with that naming convention, I might even want to call it lead magnet calorie email sequence, and that really does fit with that naming convention. Here is a little toggle switch where I can enable or disable this. I can clone this automation if I want to. So there's a button just at the end to allow me to clone it, delete it, edit it in the way that you've just seen. But the main activity is under this button here, View Automation. Now, this is what it looks like. So you're going to build almost like a flow chart that's going to guide people through this automation. And as we go into this, I'm going to talk you through it. Now, it's a good idea to plan actually this bit out as well. Again, blank sheet of paper, just take yourself out somewhere different, away from your desk or whatever, and really think through this automation. Now, I've done that. I've got my notes in front of me as well, and I'm going kind of talk you through it as we go. But this automation is kind of a nurture sequence, really. So we are going to send that initial email to give people the information they asked for, but then we're also going to send out an email sequence that nurtures them, helps them to make the most out of that lead magnet, moves them closer to wanting to work with us. Basically, that's what we're doing. So there's going to be 5 emails in this sequence, but what we're also going to do is we're going to make sure that we only send these to people that are not already subscribers of the membership, because at any point in that process, people could buy the membership. Do you really want to be sharing sales messages with people that have already purchased from you? Probably not. So we're going to take care of those sorts of things as well. Now, everything starts with a trigger. So just going up into here now. A trigger is what sets off this automation. So what is it that has to happen to make this fire up? And there's a number of options here. So you can fire up an automation when somebody signs up. So this is great for an onboarding sequence, or if someone submits a form, you can trigger an automation. So again, somebody fills in a lead magnet form, you can set that as a trigger, or somebody purchases a product, or somebody goes into the checkout and then doesn't complete the purchase, or somebody cancels a subscription, somebody renews a subscription, somebody gets assigned a tag. So all of these different triggers that you can have depending on your level of access to EzyCourse. So the trigger I'm going to use is somebody submits a form. And the form I am going to use is my lead magnet calorie counting, which is just here. So I've now added that as a trigger. So that means this automation will start to work when somebody submits that form, from the moment they submit that form. So the next thing I want to do in my sequence is I want to send them an email. So now when I click on the add button here, I get to choose a number of actions. So I can do an email split test. I can send an email. I can wait for a period of time. I can add tags to them. I can remove tags. I can add them to another contact list. I can remove them from a contact list. I can also do some branching scenarios that you're going to see here as well. So there's a whole list of things that I can do, and more coming in the future that I can do as part of an automation. But for now, let's keep it simple. Let's just send an email. So here is where I'm going to refer to the document that I use to plan out my emails. As you can see, I need to set a subject line. So I'm going to open my document up on a different screen. And I'm now going to put in the subject line that I planned for. So the subject line I planned for is here is the information you asked for. And then I'm going to insert their first name into the subject. Okay, I'm going to write the sender name in here. I'm going to use the business name. And then I am going to choose the email that I want to send. Now, remember I talked to you about having your naming conventions in place. Well, look at how easy this has made it. I can search for LM, and I can now choose the LM setting calories 1. Now, I can preview that email. I can also edit it as well. But very simply, I'm going to select it, and that's it. All I need to do is add that as an action to my sequence, and there it is. I can also see some statistics here and view logs when that actually goes live. Now, the next thing I want to do is I want to wait a period of time. And if I go back to my planning document again, it will tell me how much time I need to wait. And I'm actually going to next wait for 3 days. So back on my automation here, I'm going to add in wait steps, and I'm going to say wait for 3 days. Okay, so that will create a time delay of 3 days. On this canvas, at any point you want to, you see that little hand icon you can see just there. You can click and hold that, and you can drag this canvas about. I'm actually using a mouse as well. You can zoom in and out of this canvas if you need to as well. So I'm just going to move that up, because after I've waited 3 days, I next want to check if they have purchased the product. Okay, so if they make a purchase of that product, I want to stop this email sequence. I don't want to carry on selling to somebody that's just bought. So in order to do that, I'm going to use an if and else statement here. Now I'm going to call this branch check for membership, just to help me refer to it. And I'm going to say if this person has purchased this particular membership, I just need to find it, which is that one there, or they have purchased, let me just find it again, this membership. So if they have purchased that one, or they have purchased this one, and I'm going to add that as an action. So this little check here is going to check to see whether they've purchased one or the other membership. And if they have, it's going to send them down the yes route. If they haven't, it's going to send them down this route here. Now, bearing in mind, if they have purchased one of these products here, the answer to that will be yes. I don't actually want to do anything else with them. But if they haven't, that's when I can go ahead and I can send my next email. So I just need to go back to my planning document. You can see how important that is. So the question I want to ask here is, how are you getting on? Question mark. The sender name, mind over matter, nutrition, and this is going to be number 2. Okay, let's add that as an action. So let's have a look so far. Let's just scroll down a bit. Someone submits this form, we send them an email, we wait for 3 days, we check to see if they have purchased the membership. If they have, we do nothing. If they haven't, we go ahead and we send them this email. Okay, looking on my plan again, the next thing we're going to do is now wait for 4 days. Add the action on here. And again, we are next going to check to see if they have bought the membership. So we need the if-else statement. We're going to do a membership check. We're going to see if they have purchased that product, okay, or they have purchased, find it, that product, okay. If they have done any of these things, then we're going to leave it. If they haven't, we're next going to send the email, which is 1 week down. Put the first name in there, the sender name again. And this is going to be email number 3. You can see how this is building up. Add that as an action. Go back to my document. The next instruction is so to wait another 3 days. Once again, we're going to do that check using the if-else statement. Check membership. Have they purchased that product? Or have they purchased that product? If they have, do nothing. If they haven't, we're going to send the next email. This is email number 4. Oh, clicked on the edit button then. It's very convenient to edit these in the fly. Going to add that on as an action. Oh, made some mistakes. Okay, add that on as an action. And then finally, we're going to wait another 4 days. Now, bearing in mind, you know, I'm talking through this, aren't I, as I'm going, so it's bound to be just that little bit slower for me. And it's going to be the same for you. When you first do these, you know, you might need to take your time with it. You know, but as you develop the skills and you do more and more of this stuff, you're going to be able to be much more competent at it. So we're checking again that they've purchased either one of those products. If they have, we're going to do nothing. And if not, we're now going to send them that last email in the sequence, actually. Set a subject here. Send a name. I'm going to send them that email there. Okay. And that's it. We're going to add that. Now, what I am also going to do at this stage, once they've been through that entire process, if you like, I am also going to add them finally to a different list. So I'm going to add them to the main list, and I'm going to put that in as an end step just there. Now, the reason I have put that in that stage is because the main list could be something that you're firing out newsletters to. So if you're doing that as well as kind of you got this sequence running, my advice would be to kind of keep them on this sequence, get that completed first, and then move them into the main list. But yeah, that is pretty much it done. What I would do then is I would save that automation. And I always recommend to people that you test things. So in the spirit of really planning, building and launching, it's really important that you give yourself enough lead time to be able to kind of test out all of this process. So sometimes, you know, it's worth, you know, if you've got a lead magnet, for example, that you want to run in autumn, now is a good time to be actually planning that and building it and testing it so that when it comes to launch it in the autumn, you're a lot better equipped. So I know that's been kind of a decent lengthy 20-minute video. That just looks at how to build automation for you. In other lessons, obviously, landing pages, thank you pages are something to build as well, not just from a technical aspect, but also from the point of view of writing the copy for those pages as well. So if you found that useful, let me know. I'll